Our guest today is Scott Riley.
Our guest today. Oh, that sounds strange. I'm usually the one saying our guest today.
There was a man I found lying on the side of the road. His name is Scott Riley, and he normally does a radio show on Star FM. And you know what? You're coming to, well, we don't want to say coming to the end, but you're a chapter is
Oh
coming
no,
to the end.
we're seriously, we're coming to the end of a broadcast career. This is it. I am done. Yeah, just a couple of weeks now.
Yeah?
And I'm okay with that. It's
You don't think in like 3 months you might miss it?
No, I think that's the number one question that everybody asks me is that, well, what are you going to do? Well, like you're finished, you're retired. Then what are you going to do? And I always say, not this. It'll be anything but this. And I think that's where I am right now is I've put 40 years into talking into a microphone. It'll be 40 years this year. And my brain's tired. My brain is just tired now. So, yeah, it's a good time for me to hang up the headphones, so to speak. And I don't know what's next, but it will not be this.
So you have an exit plan. More fishing?
Yes. Right now, I've found that in the last 2 years, work kind of gets in the way of. They always say you can judge the quality of man's life by the quality of his leisure time, and my leisure time has grown tenfold. The things that I've been involved with fishing and golfing and cycling and motorcycling and hiking and everything else, that work gets in the way. Mm-hmm. So I'll be now to take a 8-hour chunk of my day that I can now just devote entirely, and I don't have to worry about work getting in the way anymore. So yeah, it's good.
And golf.
And golf. It's a game that I've been chasing for decades. Mm-hmm. I'm not great at it, but man, it's a great sport to go for a walk and see the sights and clear the head. If there's any stress in your life, a game of golf will either make it better or make it a heck of a lot worse, depending on how your game is going.
Right. Where did your radio career begin?
It began in the thriving metropolis of Osoyoos, BC, the mighty CKOO. I was a 17-year-old kid in high school. I was doing a theater production with the general manager of the radio station. He needed somebody to work for the summer to insert commercials during BC Lions games. And my good friend at the time, Vance Potter, said, hey, I'm going to apply for this job. You want to come down and we'll just hold my hand, so to speak? I don't know why he invited me, but we both ended up going down there and applied for the job. I got it. He didn't. I've always felt bad about that. I stole his job. But I didn't go to any radio program to learn how to do this. I started in that summer job inserting commercials into Lions games. And by September, I was on the afternoon show. And after a year of that, I was doing a morning show at 20 years old, at CKOO in Osoyoos, and I worked in that Okanagan radio chain with Penticton, so I worked there for 7 years and then got the call to come here, and what was originally a 5-year plan has lasted 34 years.
Mm-hmm. And of course, initially it was CHWK 1270.
Yes.
And then it eventually morphed about 20 years ago, roughly, into Star FM.
Well, it was actually a couple of metamorphoses. CHWK became Radio Max, right. So we had a few years where oldies was the order of the day. And to go from any of those shifts, it's a little weird. Like even when the station changes or management changes or programming changes, it's kind of weird, but then you get used to it. And just when you're used to it, it gets changed again. And when the AM stations got flipped to FM and then eventually to what we now have as Star FM, I was involved in all of that. And it was scary, all those little bumps and turns along the way.
Mm-hmm. And you have new offices here in Chilliwack.
Yes, this is a $3 million bill that Rogers ponied up for, and we are now I believe we are still the most technologically advanced radio facility in British Columbia.
All right. Over the years, I recall you had a number of morning shows that you had the luxury of actually doing them from places like the Caribbean, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any, can you name some of those locales, and also,
yes.
And also were there any experiences there
yes.
that really stand out?
Oh, gosh, yes. Okay, so we had a partnership with Sandals, and they did this with radio stations all across Canada, all across the United States. They've had European radio stations roll in. Basically, for a week, we would have a dozen radio stations from Canada, fly down to whatever Sandals location, and again, Sandals is the cream of the crop when it comes to all-inclusive resorts, so it's pretty snazzy. And they'd fly all these radio stations down, set up on a big table like we have here. All the equipment would be there. All you had to do was show up and start talking, and it was all paid for. And these were $10,000 per couple trips that we would give away, and we'd go down and broadcast for a week. So we were in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. We were in Sandals South Coast. We were in the Bahamas. We were in Antigua, Exuma Island. And then about 15 trips in total I've been there, and they're fabulous. And experiences gave me the opportunity to do things I would never choose to do on my own, like swimming with the sharks. Do you know what they do when they swim with the sharks? You ever done this?
They lose a leg?
Well, no. They throw this long line off the end of the boat. It's about 25 meters long, and they joked it as the shark shish kebab. So they throw the line out, and then you get in with your flippers and your snorkel and everything, and you hold onto the rope, and you stare down into the water as they lower a chum box, which is about 100 feet down, and the sharks are swimming below you where the chum is, and you're told to not splash about in the water, be calm, because the sharks know when there's something going on up there, so you don't want to give them your attention. So we had a long line of 20 of us in the water or whatever on the shark shish kebab line. I was on the very end. I think one guy was next to me on the end. I was second from the end. And all of a sudden, I look up, and I notice that everybody to my right towards the boat is out of the water. And there's the guy in the boat saying, "Get out of the water," because I'm looking below, and there's got to be 100 sharks swimming around in the circle. Like, there's 100 sharks down there. And I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. And holy crap, there's 100 sharks down there, which is why they wanted us out of the water. The dude next to me, to my left, heard the whistle from the boat to get out of the water. He looked up and saw the guy in the boat saying, "Get out of the water," and he panicked. And he swam right over top of me. So I'm now underwater, breathing water in through my snorkel. I'm coughing, I'm gagging, I'm trying not to drown. He's splashing around in the water, and all I heard in my head was, "Be calm. Don't splash in the water." And that day, as I was preparing for work, I sliced my finger open on a razor. So now the Band-Aid is off my finger. I got blood in the water. There's 100 sharks down below, and I'm filling my pants. So yeah, that's an incredible opportunity. We went swimming in the surf on horseback. The day that we did that, the manager of the resort said, I got one piece of advice for you. Don't be the last horse in the water." And I went, "What?" He says, "That's all I say. Don't be the last horse in the water." So, of course, being a typical Black Cloud tradition, that's my nickname here, Black Cloud, because if it's going to happen to somebody, it's going to happen to me. There's 20 of us on horseback, bareback, very skinny Jamaican horses. And so when you're riding on this horse, it's not really comfortable. You can get the same kind of sensation by filling a tube sock full of golf balls and rubbing it up and down your crotch. That's kind of what it feels like. So all these horses are in the water. I'm in the last horse, and now I realize why you don't want to be the last horse. Because when the horses hit the water, it's very relaxing for them, and whatever is inside the horse comes out of the horse as soon as they hit the water. So there are 19 horses in front of me, all emptying their bowels, as I have to spend the whole time riding my horse through horse crap.
Wow.
Fascinating experience. And it goes on.
There's at least 1,000 people.
There's 1,000.
Right, 1,000 people right now who are rethinking their career choice of radio.
That's right. But those trips have, never would I have been able to fly on a Learjet to go swimming with the horses in the Caribbean, to go down the Jamaican bobsled that goes through the jungle, all the zip lining. I never would have done those. And when you do the math on it, 15 trips, $10,000 a trip. That's travel I never would have done as well. So it's an awesome opportunity to have had fall upon my shoulders, yeah.
Now, you're doing the early morning show, but the time zones change a little, do they not? Or are they pretty close to us?
No, when we did Antigua, that's the farthest east. That's a 4-hour difference. So my show there would start at 10 and finish till 1 or 2. So it makes for a weird day where, yeah, I can sleep in, but the meat of the day, you can't go anywhere or do anything over there because all the tours and everything run at 11 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, I could stay up past 7 o'clock at night, which was a new experience for me, too, because 7 or 8 o'clock, I'm sawing logs here. But a 4-hour time change, that was nice to see the other side of the clock for a change.
Wow. Well, we wish you the best of luck, Scott, in your future endeavors, as they say.
Oh, there will be no endeavors. I don't There are no endeavors. I'm just relaxing. I'm sleep, blessed sleep.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.